This camera angle probably isn't straight, but neither am I. Hey guys! So Neon Hitch released the news that she will be releasing some albums of old tracks. She posted about this on Twitter. She's compiling a load of old tracks that have never been released into individual separate albums. There are going to be, I think she said there are going to, how many did she say there were going to be? 301 of these albums will be made. Each one is one of a kind with unique track listing and personalised to the fan. Each one is numbered. So basically, she's got some old songs that have never been released, and I guess her label never helped her release them, so she's just releasing them out into the world. Each album is different. It's a 12-track album. It is made with each person's name and designs and stuff. She draws it all herself. And because they're so unique and limited edition, they are £150. I don't know what that is in dollars. So you have to message her personally and arrange for it to be sent. I kind of calculated it up as soon as I read about it and decided I really wanted one, and sort of instantly replied to her and DM'd her. We had a really nice chat. It was really nice to talk to her. And this is when I was on holiday in Scotland, so if you saw my last video, it was while all that was going on. And I was using very questionable internet coverage, but I managed to get through to her and arrange a PayPal and everything, and arrange it to be sent. I unboxed it. Mine was number 7, which is amazing that mine was only the 7th one to be made, and as I said, there's 301 altogether. I don't know if they've all been made yet, maybe they haven't. She DM'd me saying the PayPal address, let me know when payment is sent and let me know your mailing address and full name. I said the internet's a bit spotty because I'm on holiday in the middle of nowhere, this is my name and address. She said, okay love, use the PayPal app, blah blah blah. I sent it. She said, got you, will be sent out Monday. I said, awesome, thank you Angel, and then when I realised I had received it, I messaged her, thank you Neon, you shine like gold, and she liked the reply. So I did a little unboxing, well you're going to see, I did a little unboxing and then I reviewed each track. While I was doing this, Neon featured me on her story, so a lot of people on Instagram were suddenly really keen to hear everything about every track, and I wasn't ready to release this yet, so I was like, oh, wait for me to finish my video. So people on Instagram are kind of keen to find out more about the songs. So if you're here from Instagram, hello, I'm Amy, nice to meet you. There's going to be an unboxing first, and then I show snippets of the music, just show you what bits of it sound like. I try not to show too much because I don't want to get in trouble with Neon. And then I'm going to just talk about it now here in a bit more depth. So without further ado, here is the unboxing. Okay, here it is. As you can see, I've attached my mask to censor the package for obvious reasons. This is, I'm guessing, Neon Hitch's handwriting, which is so cool already. I will admit that I ripped this open already because I didn't know what it was when it came through the door, so I opened it, and as soon as I saw what it was, I closed it up again so I could open it for you on camera. So I'm just going to, obviously without showing anything on that side, slide the masks off. Here we go. The Vintage Collection, number 7. I'm only number 7, wow. Neon Hitch, Kiss, with little stars. It's on a Maxell disc that she's made herself. Neon Hitch The Vintage Collection 7. For Amy. Dave, Soulmate, Sugar Daddy, The Other Side, On the Move, One Shot, Slow the Fuck Down, Plastic Fantastic, So Simple, Derek, I Don't Need You, and This Song's For You. With love, Neon Hitch. And it has a We Are Neon stamp. It's backwards, so like, is it on the other side? We Are Neon LLC, and then 2019 and some stuff. Colombia. I don't know why it's 2019. So there it is. I have been trying to find a way to play a couple of the songs, just little snippets, so as not to annoy Neon or breach her copyright or whatever, but just like a couple of seconds of each song. I'm in my girlfriend's house. I can't find a CD player anywhere here and she's out. So I'm just gonna see if I can find a way to play it a bit for you now. Okay, so I'm gonna actually listen to this when I get home and I'll play it for you then. So it won't take long for you, but it's gonna take a couple of days for me before I can listen to this.
Snakes can shoot. Slithers outside of his in my ride. Oh, what a rod. Paparazzi watch. Eagerly to see who this dude can be. But it's just Dave. And yes, it's first. On ether, on drug, on champagne. On his diet, he's so cool. No eye contact. With a buzzer as he steps into China shites. Don't you wish you were Mr. Big Stuff? Mr. Superstar, Mr. Top Dog. That's what you think you are. Mr. Big Dog, Mr. VIP, Mr. God's gift. That's what you think you are. You couldn't wait to get us back to your gaff. Stepping out with you was the first day of our life. Boyish and you clean us every single day. Give us a quick word before you put us away to the original box that we were delivered in. Polished and pristine and covered in cellophane. As you woke up on Saturday morning, though you had forgotten how much you spent to get us home.
Ooh!
From the first lick upon your lips, you did get me addicted to your kiss. Can't help it, feel like this. The more I try, the more I fall into bliss. In the missionary with you, it's more than I would like to do. So true with your crew, I am ready for a life for me.
Oh, yes.
Together sometime, relax yourself. Come and have one with me, you will see our possibilities. If I give my love to you, you return to me. Would you call me baby? I wanna be your lady. Flyers from anywhere in an abandoned warehouse. Cold bites from early hours. She shivered as she looked round. Music bumping out loud. Messy K-heads make the crowd. Feeling uncomfortable, but ain't captured by this scene. Wherever he goes, she goes just one step behind. At only 15, she's naive, so follows him blind. Swept away by the in crowd, so easy to be led astray. Which ones will think twice before they take it too far? My wheels are constantly turning. My land is never stable. I am forever moving. My body clock is ticking just non-stop. Soon as I get comfortable, stability I drop.
Mood.
But there's one thing. Oh, you are worth keeping. Leaving you behind. I wish that I could take you with me. ghost. Oh, hoping that nobody knows what I'm trying to hide. I'm trying to find my time. He always takes it from me.
What did he do?
Oh, happiness running at me like rain, leaving us stain, he's guilty again. I'm shrinking, I've been grinding down. I've gotta hold it down. So we're the same blood running in our veins. Slow the fuck down, I pull back the reins. Tell me your stresses, don't bear all the strings. Don't bear all the strings. Supposed to be the same air, I can't inhale. She ain't a fool, just wanna be beautiful to look like her idols. But some people say she has been led astray by magazines and TV, yes. Sitting there wishing and hoping and contemplating. All that she wants is just to feel amazing. Fantastic, but lasting, yours to hide behind. Fantastic, but lasting, it's all bring your joy. I'll never promise to who you bring, who you like to try. The pain away, you don't understand my feelings, and if that's your getaway, tell me what's mine, what's on your mind. Problem is I still love you, you were peace. No, it was simple. If we let it be, oh, but I'm just no longer in. So I got to run away. Sitting nameless, the white boy's got no yard. All is vacant, it seems he's lost his guard. His problems blatant, something's marked his path. Life said to me just the other day, where is your head at? Don't think I can say what's the weather. Tomorrow gonna be probably a storm. It said to me, whatever, whatever, I was so innocent, far too naive to see the facts of reality. Believed it would be easy, but didn't know the stress of it, the Aztec and bullshit. The music business seems to have telling me this, telling me that, telling me everything. Had to run my life, just on advice, but I'm capable to make it on my own, cause I truly care, and I'm learning all that I don't need you. Running my life on my own, cause I don't need you. Something's wrong with the world today. So many things we like to change. Too many thoughts spin around our head over and over and over again. Whatever happened to the dream supply? Whatever happened to the open eyes? Takes a fool not to understand. A fool with a gun could kill any man. I'm just trying to live my life and make a way. Ways for every day I try. I just wanna give my soul. This one goes out for all the
So track 1 is Dave. It's a pretty funny song. It's about a guy who kind of thinks he's all that and is really full of himself and he just has an overblown sense of how awesome he is, and he's actually not that great. So it's a bit of a drag. It's a bit of a kind of diss track. And like the whole thing is he thinks he's God's gift, but he is just Dave. So it's that kind of idea. It's quite funky with the sound. It's quite, I can't think of the word. You know when music doesn't flow, but it's like do 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 do. I can't think of the word. Quite jerky sounding and quite funky sounding, and it just gives a great impression of like a really mediocre guy who thinks he's better than he is. Track 2 is Soulmate, spelt like the shoe, like S-O-L-E. It's kind of about like a creepy guy being creepy. It's quite a dark idea, like it's about a guy who's not very nice, a very unpleasant person, but it's very pop. It has a very British kind of pop vibe, and her voice is really pretty, so it kind of lightens it up, like it's not too dark to listen to. And yeah, it's just another one about a kind of horrible, unpleasant guy. And it's really good, and her voice sounds really nice, and it's a good song. Track 3 is called Sugar Daddy, and it slaps. It's really funky, and it has a very Spanish kind of feel, like a kind of, with a bit of R&B, and it's just like a summer kind of tune. It's very like old school R&B, summertime. It's got that kind of summer jam feel, and it's about a sugar daddy, I guess. And that's one of my favourites, and it's one that the more you listen to it, it just keeps getting better, and it's like just a really catchy, fun song. Track 4 is called The Other Side. It's actually a really sad, oh hello. It's a really sad song about a young girl being kind of taken advantage of. So that's more of a dark kind of content, but it shows the soulfulness of her voice. It's mostly just voice and guitar, and her voice sounds really amazing. She's giving me those like Amy Winehouse vibes, but obviously with her own like unique voice that she has. So it's about a naive teenage girl, and I think she said she's 17. And she is taken advantage of by a man, but also by like the in crowd, and she's quite easily led astray, and he takes advantage of that. And it's about her sort of downward, like a sort of downward spiral situation where it's like really sad. So some of these seem pretty personal, and I hope they're not too personal, but that's quite heart-wrenching to listen to, but it's also really amazing to listen to because her voice, just her voice and the guitar, sounds really beautiful and really pretty, and it's a really good song. Track 4, The Other Side. Track 5 is called On The Move, and another fairly sad one, but it has a more uplifting kind of sound. Again, it's another kind of soulful, funky kind of tune. I know I keep saying funky, but it's got that kind of vibe to it. It's quite light sounding, despite the fact the lyrics are quite dark and quite sad. It says, "This life will make or break you, it could take you down," which is a whole mood. It has a very like abrupt finish. It just sort of gets itself over with, and then it's like boom, and it just seems really like perfectly crafted and well ended. Track 6 is called One Shot. It's another sad one, which makes me a bit worried again. I was like, baby, are you okay? It's about a girl who had a very hard life, dealt with abandonment, addiction to drugs, that type of scenario. It's possibly maybe a bit semi-autobiographical. Maybe it relates to her. Maybe, dare I say it, it's a one about Amy Winehouse. I'm not claiming either of those is true, but it seems quite personal, and I think maybe it could be about Amy. It's just one of those kind of sad, melancholy songs about someone who, you know, had a sad life and didn't have much going for them. It's not soul destroying to listen to, but it's fairly sad, but it's a really lovely song. Track 7 is called Slow the Fuck Down. It's much more of a kind of I keep overusing this word, but it's much funkier kind of song that gets you moving. It's more badass. It's another one about a man who's giving her problems, but it's less sad Neon. It's more like badass, like don't mess with me kind of Neon, which of course we all love. It's basically how she spends so much time like helping him, picking him back up, paying for him, doing everything for him, pulling him out of trouble, etc. And now she's like, enough, enough, calm the fuck down, shut the fuck up, slow the fuck down. And it's just like one of her standing up for herself, but it's quite like fast paced and funky, and it's got that kind of jerky sound, and it's really cool. Track 8 is called Plastic Fantastic, and it's one about kind of the pressure put on women to look a certain way and be plastic and have surgery and change your looks, and it's just like about that pressure being put on a specific woman. It's like about a particular person, or it's like written as though it is, and it's very kind of more jazzy sounding and very pretty sounding. It's much more slow, and it really makes her voice sound amazing. She's got a really kind of jazzy voice. It's actually only about 2 minutes long, but it's very poignant and beautiful sounding, and it's lovely. I keep saying every song is lovely, but it's beautiful, and it has her voice and a bit of guitar, and it just sounds amazing. Track 9 gets a bit more upbeat. Again, it's called So Simple. It's a bit more down the R&B kind of lines, and it's kind of bouncy. It has a kind of bouncy beat, and then her flowing vocal over it, which sounds very nice. Her voice really shines on like all the songs, but on this one it sounds really good in particular, and it has these awesome layered vocals, as you would see in, I assume, the clip I've edited in. This like amazing layered vocals, and her voice sounds really good, and again it's more like bouncy and upbeat than the others. It's less sad, and it's just like very fun and very like R&B, very old school. It's just like really fun to listen to. Track 10 is called Derek. It's a lot more kind of experimental sounding than the others. A lot of the others are more classic and it's just guitar and voice. This is all produced, and it has like a repetitive beat over it, and then it has sort of record scratches and sound effects and stuff, so it's less of a traditional medium. It's all much more like digitally made. It's another one that's very British sounding. I know on some of them she sounds a bit more Americanized, and some of them she's really British. This one is giving me major like Lily Allen vibes. Her voice just reminded me of her, and she's got a few like British sounding references in where's your head at and whatever. It's just like very like sort of British kind of London vibes. It's basically, it's about a guy that she loves, but he's like bad for her, and she sees him getting kicked out of places and doing bad things, and she just loves him even though she knows he's bad, and she sort of obviously predicts a storm in the relationship. So she's looking at the situation and predicting that like there's going to be a storm or there's going to be a problem. What did he do to you, Neon? It just makes me feel so bad, like who hurt you? But other than that, it's fun and kind of shady, and it's just like fun to listen to. I Don't Need You is really, really good. It's definitely one of my favourites. Her voice is very, again, it's very light and effortless, and just effortlessly amazing. I can't even say that word, but she's effortlessly amazing. And it's back to the instruments, it's back to the Spanish sounding guitar. Her voice really takes over, and the instruments are just quite, not minimal, but they're in the background and they don't take over too much, and there's a lot of her voice. As well as the guitar, there's these like clicking things that make me think of castanets. They're probably not castanets. I'll probably put a clip in here because I can't really explain it.
Now that I found this, and independent. Thank you for showing me it is what I need.
The instruments sound really Spanish, and that gives me like kind of summer vibes, and it also has this sound in it that I don't know how it's made. Again, I'm not a musical technical person. It's reminiscent of Red Flags by Curly. It's this kind of synthesizer or computer beat or whatever that I'm going to put in here. It just reminded me of that song. I was like, where have I heard that before? So it's like mostly traditional instruments and then just a little bit of beat in there that lifts up and lifts you up. Her voice is really good. It's I don't need you, like, yes Neon, tell him. Neon standing up for herself. It sounds really amazing. Her voice just takes over everything, and then it has a cymbal clash at the end just for the drama. It's amazing. It's really like a really well ended song and really well produced, and I think it's really good. Track 12 is called This Song's For You. The lyrics, they seem self-explanatory, like this song's for you. This song's for everyone. If you've been through pain and come out the other side of it, if you feel like you aren't free, like, this song's for you. So she says this song's for everyone because, like, pretty much everyone has felt that way. It's very positive and uplifting, and it's very just like giving so much positivity. It's a really lovely song. Instrumentally, it starts like it's gonna be kind of semi-heavy rock. It's like it starts like fairly soft and then it gets heavier and you're like, oh, what's this gonna be like? But then it's a bit more like vocal, and then there's strings. So during the chorus there's this do 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 do. That's probably not right. So it starts with kind of a headbanger, and then it's like, oh, and then it gets you in, and it's got this uplifting feeling. So, and the lyrics are uplifting, but the music is physically quite uplifting, so it kind of has a very positive effect. It's a really nice end to the album. It's a really nice message to the fans. I kind of wish it was properly released because she says this song's for everyone, so I wish it was like literally for everyone. Also, it's for the fans, and that song's kind of just for everyone. Like, whether they know it or not, that song's for everyone. Everyone can relate to it, and she's sort of putting it out into the world now, which is really good. My version of the album was really well put together. I like how it started with like a kind of silly song, and then got a bit more poignant and a bit of whoa, like these like really big songs, and then it ends on like a lighter note. I like the order that she kind of put them in. She'll intersperse the funkier ones or the bouncier ones with sad ones and slower ones, so she's ordered them well. She signed it. Yeah, I can't speak for anyone else's, but the Vintage Collection #7 is amazing, and I'm going to keep listening to it.